is up, my crafty friends? My name is Carrie and welcome back to my channel. If you're already a follower of my channel, you know that Wednesdays are not normally my upload day, but y'all, I have got so much energy and I've got so many fun things planned that I decided to give y'all a little extra bonus. Now, before we get started, I do want to share with you what is giving me all of this crazy energy today. And it's a new drink that I found called C4. This is totally giving me that little burst of energy that I needed to get all of those boxes checked off. And I'm so thankful that I have found this little drink. Like, this is a lot of energy in this one little drink. And it doesn't make me crash. It's been a godsend this week. If you want to check out what C4's got to offer and also get a 30% off discount, check the description box below and I'll put a link, and yeah, just check it out. But y'all, let's get started with today's video. So I've got tons and tons and tons of new stuff from Arteza that I want to share with y'all. Arteza was kind enough to send me lots of goodies to play around with, and I am over the moon excited to share what I made with this. Y'all, I've got 6 projects for y'all today. I don't think I've ever done 6 projects in one video in my entire YouTube career. I made all of these projects with Dollar Tree items as well as the things that Arteza sent me to play around with. And I'm just so in love with it, and I hope y'all love these things as much as I do. So that's enough talking, y'all. Let's start DIYing. Okay, y'all, let's take a look and see what we're going to be using for today's projects. So we've got some blue and green holographic self-adhesive vinyl. We've got 8 metallic water-based colors. We've got 42 oven-baked clay colors, and y'all, we are going to have a blast creating with these wonderful items today. Okay, so let's get started on our first project. So I'm going to use the 8 Arteza metallic colors first. And I picked up one of these terrarium bowls from the Dollar Tree and 3 of these little dolphin toys from the toy section at Dollar Tree. Now you can see I've gone ahead and tested this out on one of the dolphins just to make sure that my paint would stick, and I think it turned out great. So let's have a look at some of these colors. Y'all, the colors are absolutely beautiful. Look at this silver. Oh my goodness. It's absolutely beautiful. This bronze might be one of my favorites. I love them all, but I'm going to start off with the bronze for this project. Like I said, I went ahead and painted one of my dolphins beforehand just to make sure that it would work. So I'm going to grab my paper and let's get started painting these others. I have to admit I was thoroughly impressed with the thickness of these paints. They're super creamy and very full-bodied. It only took 1 coat of paint to cover this dolphin. Honestly, you can turn it upside down like you do the blizzards from Dairy Queen. It is not going anywhere. Look at how gorgeous this covers. And this is just 1 coat. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to go back and paint his little fin. And I'm going to go ahead and paint the 3rd one while I'm at it. And again, this was the bronze color. Okay, so now that all of these are dry, we're going to move on to the terrarium part of our project. I'm going to take the same bronze paint, and I'm just going to go around the rim of our bowl. It's pretty the way it is, but I think just adding this little bit of touch to the rim is going to just take it over the top. And again, it only took 1 coat of the paint to do this too. I'm so impressed with how this covers. And I'm just squeezing it directly out of the tube onto my brush. Okay, that was pretty easy, don't you think? Okay, so we're going to let this completely dry. Okay, so now all of our pieces are totally dry, and now it's time to glue these puppies together. So I just want them to overlap slightly on their tails. You can see I've got one side of the tail on top of the other to make our circle. And I'm going to glue these together with my hot glue gun. Just lifting up those tails and putting a little glue right underneath. Okay, let's take our paper away. And look how cute this is. Honestly, I could leave it just like this, and I think it would be an adorable centerpiece. Look how gorgeous this bowl looks sitting on top of that though. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. This is turning out even better than I expected. So now I'm going to take a little bit of hot glue and put on the back of each one of the fins just to hold our bowl in place. I do plan on putting decorations in this bowl, so I really don't need the glue on top of the fins, but I would rather be safe than sorry. Okay, I'll just give it a nice little hold until it totally cools off. Okay, here it is. It is so beautiful. Honestly, it would look gorgeous holding a shell collection or pretty much anything you can think of for a beach house. But I want to take it just a little step further. I'm so in love with this bowl. So I went to the beach and I got a cup of sand. And I'm just going to fill my little terrarium up with my sand. Next, I'm going to add in a few of the little marbles from the Dollar Tree, as well as some succulents from the Dollar Tree. I love these little succulents, and for $1 they can't be beat. Now, I'm also going to add in a few seashells from the Dollar Tree. I do have my own collection, but I did want you to see that you can use the ones from the Dollar Tree. Y'all, isn't this outstanding? I'm thoroughly impressed with how this turned out. I absolutely love it. It might be one of my favorite Dollar Tree projects. Don't you think? It is so chic looking. Okay, now moving on to project number 2. So I'm grabbing the blue and green holographic vinyl from Arteza for this next project. And y'all, this is sexy vinyl. I don't even know if that's possible, but I'm not even kidding. This vinyl is just gorgeous and sexy, and it's just beautiful. Look at these amazing colors. Wow. I know they're going to be a little bit bright on camera, and I apologize for that, but y'all, in person they are just absolutely stunning. So I'm going to start off with this lighter blue first because it reminds me of our emerald waters here on the Gulf Coast. And I picked up this little sign from the Dollar Tree, so I'm going to get rid of the tag. I also picked up some of these little wooden cutouts, and they are so adorable. I usually pick these up for all the seasons when Dollar Tree has them because you never know when you might use those. So I'm just going to remove the little glue dot that's on the back. Sometimes it can be a little hard to do, but I'm going to choose the flip-flops for this project. So this is going to be a super simple project. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut around the outside of my vinyl. If you want to, you can totally take a pen and trace around it and cut with your scissors, but I'm going to use a different technique. I'm just going to peel my vinyl off and put it directly onto my cutout, and then take my X-Acto knife and trim around the edge that way. It's totally up to you which way you want to do this, but this is just the one that I decided to use. But either one would work great. Now I'm going to use one of these cute Chalk Couture stencils from Subu Designs, and if you've never heard of Chalk Couture, I will leave a link to Subu Designs website down below and let you check that out. But basically these are just mesh stencils, and they're totally reusable and totally customizable. And normally you can use the washable chalk paint with this, but I'm going to be using my Arteza acrylic paint today because I don't want this to wash off. And I'm just taking my little spreader and now removing that stencil, and y'all, look how quick and easy that was. Now I'm going to take my little flip-flop little cutouts, and I'm going to use my Arteza paint pens to color this in. You can use acrylic paint or Sharpies or anything you've got laying around your house, but I just love these Arteza acrylic markers. I decided to go with like an emerald turquoise green color for my flip-flops because I kind of wanted it to contrast with my background of the holographic vinyl, and I think that is such a pretty color, and the white just sets it off. I'll put these on with a little hot glue. Isn't that precious? Oh, I just love it so much. Cute, cute, cute. So next I'm going to use my sand again. I love using sand in my projects, and this again was left over from the beach sand that I picked up in the earlier project. And I'm going to use my Mod Podge for this too. And I'm just dabbing on my Mod Podge pretty thick, and then I'm just sprinkling my sand over the top of that. I kind of want it to look like a beach. I am so in love with how this is turning out. Now I'm going to take my Arteza acrylic white paint and just paint around the whole rim or the outside edge of this little sign. I love using the Arteza paints because, like I said before, most of the time they are just one coat. When I get through painting all the way around the edge, I'm going to take my paint pen from Arteza and just go around the edge just to make that crisp and clean. What do you think? Isn't it precious? So cute and so fun. Okay, moving on to project number 3. I know y'all probably saw these cute little platters from the Dollar Tree, and y'all, I could not resist it when I saw it because I plan on transforming this into an elegant tray with my gold paint. This is probably one of the easiest projects that I'm going to do today, but it has one of the biggest impacts. I am going to need 2 coats of this, but the first coat covered quite well, don't you think? So I'm going to totally let it dry, and then I'm going to go back with the second coat. I really like putting the second coat on a little bit thicker just so that it sort of has like a texture to it. You can see in the top of the pineapple how it kind of has that texture, and I love that. And don't forget to paint the back side of the platter too. When the platter's all dry, I'm going to take my Krylon thick paint and I'm going to give it a nice coat of sealer, or you can use Mod Podge. Moving on to project number 4. So I picked up these little picture frames from the Dollar Tree a while back, and I picked up 2 of these. Wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with them until I saw this cute little stencil from Subu Designs. It fits perfectly inside these little frames, and I'm going to use my holographic vinyl again. But this time I'm not going to remove the paper backing. I'm just going to use it like a scrapbook paper and pop it into place. I'm going to center my stencil on this little picture frame. And this time I'm going to use my pearl paint from Arteza. This is the pearl white that came in the set of 8 metallic colors. Just give it a little squeeze there. Take my little squeegee and make sure that every one of the cracks and crevices gets filled in. When it's all done, remove your stencil, and voila! Look how amazing. I agree. Less Mondays, more summer. Isn't this stencil adorable? Okay, now I love this frame so much, but I'm not digging the bright, bright silver that is the color. So I'm just going to take some of this dark gray color that came in my metallic paints, and I'm going to give it sort of an antique finish. And again, I'm just squeezing some out directly onto my paintbrush, and I'm going to just distress this picture frame. Working it into all the cracks and crevices as I go is totally going to transform this picture frame and give it that antiqued and aged look. Wow, look at the difference there. I love it so much. So we'll go all the way around, and you can see I loved it so much I actually did both of my picture frames, and they are going to be perfect for the beach house. Okay, moving on to project number 5. Okay, for this next project we're going to use this silver color. I really love this silver color because it's not too bright and shiny, and it's not really antiqued. It's a very neutral but pretty silver. I'm just going to put a little bit onto my paper here. And just taking one of my soft paint brushes, I'm going to go over this, each letter. Now make sure that you do get in between the letters. You don't want to have any of your wood showing. And I did paint the back side as well. I am going to end up putting 2 coats on this just to be on the safe side. Okay, so now it's all dry. And now I'm going to move on to one of my favorite parts, and that is Mod Podge. Yep, I'm going to use Mod Podge and sand on the bottom of this sign. And just like I did in the previous project, I'm going to use a very generous layer of Mod Podge on the bottom of this sign, and then just sprinkle your sand over the top. Keeping with the metallic theme of this project, I decided to break out these 36 metallic colors from Arteza, and I'm going to use a brown and a moss green. I've got my 2 little palm trees here from our little wood cutouts from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to use this pretty metallic paint to make these little palm trees stand out. Again, just squeezing it straight out of the tube and using my paintbrush to put it on. Okay, now I'm just checking to see where I might want these little palm trees to go. I think on each side of my relax sign is the perfect spot. Okay, now we're just going to let this dry, and when it's nice and dry, I will go back and hot glue these on to my sign. Okay, you can see I've got my palm trees glued on here, and this already makes me want to relax under the palm trees, but I'm still not done because I've still got my oven baked clay to play around with. Let's take a look at the colors that come in this set. So not only do you get little sculpting tools, you also get little things to make earrings and lots of other accessories, but these tools are nice. And take a look at these gorgeous colors. Y'all, these are beautiful. I cannot wait to make tons of stuff with these colors. This makes my little heart so happy. So I'm going to pull out a white, and I'm also going to pull out a couple of blues because I'm going to make waves. I admit this was my very first time to play around with oven baked clay, and I did find that it was very easy to stick to itself. So I'm just putting my polymer clay one color on top of the other and then just pulling it. You don't want to blend it too much. See the streaks here? You kind of want it to have that swirl, and if you overwork it, you're just going to work the colors in together versus making those swirls. So just using a pulling motion and a twisting motion is all you need to do. And now I'm just using my fingers to create a wave. And I don't really love how these waves are turning out. So I'm just going to rethink this. I'm going to pull the wave a little bit more into more of a C. And I like this shape much, much better. Okay, now that I've got the shape the way that I wanted, I'm just going to put this on a cookie sheet and put it in my oven that is preheated to 325 for about 15 minutes, and then I'll use my glue gun to attach it to my sign. And here it is going into our 325-degree oven, and now we're ready to attach. I'll just put just a little bit of hot glue right on the back of here, and it's going to attach right onto our sign. Okay, y'all, look how precious this is. Isn't it cute? This was such an easy project, but I love it. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, this project's done. Okay, y'all, now it's time to move on to our last and final project. And for this one, I'm going to take one of these little Captain's Wheels picture frames that I picked up from Dollar Tree. And I do not intend to use it as a picture frame. Wait until you see what I've got in store for this. So let's just pop out this little circle from the back first. I'm going to take the same clay that I used in the last project, and I'm going to soften it up first, and I'm going to work those colors in together just like I did in the previous project, making really sure not to overwork the clay because I want all of those beautiful colors to come through. Now I'm just going to pinch off a small piece and roll out a little rope. I am making these super thin because, in case you can't tell, we are making a jellyfish. Use a lot of different color variations for your jellyfish. And now we'll make the cap for the jellyfish's head. We're going to pop this in the oven just like we did with our previous one for 325 for about 15 minutes. Now this is what it looks like. Isn't that precious? Y'all, this was so easy. I really like the way the wood looks, but I think I want to make it pop a little bit more by painting the circle white. And then I'm going to paint my little captain's wheel here a beautiful antique gold. This antique gold is a very rich color, and it is only going to take one coat. And for the circle, I'm going to paint that my metallic white. Because I want a nice and even coverage, I will put 2 coats of the white onto the circle, but just 1 coat for my antique gold. This gold is so rich and so beautiful. Okay, I did do 2 coats. Alright, now we're ready to put it all together. I'm just going to pop my little white circle back into the frame. And y'all, I can't believe how quick and easy this project was. Let's close down our little clasp here. Isn't that cute? Oh my goodness, you could do so much with this. But I love how the jellyfish looks there. Isn't it precious? So we'll attach him with a little bit of hot glue. And y'all, he's done. Look how freaking adorable that is. I really do love the contrast of the turquoise and the white together. And the gold just makes it pop. So flippin' cute. Because I don't want my little piece to fall, I am going to put a little bit of hot glue just to secure my little dowel in the back, because it is not a very good fit. And I don't want him tearing up. Oh my goodness. He is so precious. Look at this. That does it for today's video, y'all. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up because that would mean the world to me. And let me know down in the comments below which project you enjoyed the most. Can y'all believe that I packed 6 projects in this one video? Like, I'm just a mad woman. I blame it on the C4 energy drink. And if that is a clue as to anything that is to come since I've started drinking this, then y'all just better get ready. If you want to check out more of the Arteza products that I used in this video, I'll put a link to those down below, as well as a discount code where you can get 10% off of your order. So that's it, y'all. Until next time, happy DIYing, y'all.